Hello friends, and welcome to the Hanged Man in the Moon. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Friends, if you are a returning visitor, you know that this is my mini-series in which I'm diving into a very unique and beautiful deck called The Tarot of the Holy Light by Christine Payne-Towler. And this is an amazing deck that is very different from the decks that I was reared on, if you will. The Golden Dawn based decks, the RWS, the Smith-Waite, or the Harris-Crowley Thoth decks, and all of their iterations and recreations, and the wonderful plethora of RWS and Thoth-based decks out there. I'm very comfortable with those. This is different. This is a deck that was created based on the creators, Christine Payne-Towler's exhaustive, extensive, deep research into the continental tarot esoterica, with scholars like Eliphas Levi, Pappas, Atea, etc., etc., etc. So, as this is a very different deck for me, what do? Every day I draw one card from the Tarot of the Holy Light, and I acknowledge the thoughts, the memories, the meanings that arise in association with the card that I'm seeing from my study of and use of RWS and Thoth decks. And I do that. I acknowledge those ideas, those meanings, in order to detangle them, to disengage them from what I'm looking at that moment, because I want to try to confront the daily draw card as it is a different system. And to help me with that, I use an RWS based deck called the Lightseer's Tarot, a very easy deck for me to read with. So I do a 3-card spread. I pull 3 cards. That's what a 3-card spread would be. The first card is the significance, the second is the obstacle, the third is the advice. Typical 3-card spread. And then I live my day. And then at the end of the day, I pull out my guidebook for the Tarot of the Holy Light. This is a wonderful, beautiful guidebook, and there's a companion book that goes with this, just in case you're interested in getting one or both of them, that goes more into the esoterica. This is more card meanings and use of the deck. I read the entry for the card from this book, and reflect on how those meanings may have manifested for me during the day. And today I'm kind of winging it because I haven't quite settled yet on what today meant for me. And it's not the first time I'm not completely settled on what the day meant for me when I was recording, but today I feel a little even more indeterminate about how I'm reading these cards. So, how I'm reading the card from the Tarot of the Holy Light. Let me show you the card. The card was the Lover's card. The Lover's card. This isn't a gorgeous card. This is a beautiful card. It came out reversed. So let me show it to you upright, just so you can see it more easily. You can see we've got 2 pairs of lovers. At the top, they are they're in relationship. In the bottom, they're in much closer relationship. Yeah, the bottom is more of the erotic love. The top might be a little bit more of the affectionate love, more spiritual love, perhaps, more what we commonly think of love, and the bottom, what we more commonly think of as eros. And remembering that, for example, in Greek, there are 5 words for love, and each of them have different meanings, right? So we've got different shades of love going on here, and represented here, I should say, going on. That's a more horrible use of the English language. We have 2 different kinds of love represented here. But you can see both of them, sun, moon, right? Leo, Cancer, maybe Aries, well, okay. These could also be Mars, Venus, right? That pairing. but we got this pairing of the hot and the fire and the water in two different iterations. And we've got this lovely town in the background, looking very peaceful. We've got this lovely grotto in the bottom where these two very intimately embracing entities can go and go a little farther out of the sight of other people. This is a lovely card. I love that there's water down there, that the couple that is entwined in passion, they're in their water, they're in their emotion, right? So a beautiful card. A little disappointed that it came reversed, but not surprised. And so, what did I think? Well, I see that these are, when I think of the Lover's card, for example, in Rider-Waite-Smith, I think of more choice. I think of, choice. That's the first thing that comes to mind when I think of the Lover's card. And also when I think of the Lover's card from Terre de Marseille, definitely I'm thinking choice there. In Rider-Waite-Smith, in Pamela Coleman-Smith's art specifically, I think of choice. I also think of a love relationship, but the joining of pairs, the pairing of, and the commitment to. It's more making the commitment. That's what I was reaching for. Not so much love, but the commitment. That kind of meaning for the Lover's card in Pamela Coleman-Smith's art. And so in this card, I see something different. I see love. I see eros. I see all of those different kinds of love represented in this card. And the card is Taurus. The significator, the zodiac significator of this card is Taurus, which is enjoyment of the material, of the physical. There's a sensuousness about Taurus, of abundance in Taurus, right? And so those things. So in reverse, what does that mean for me? Does that mean perhaps it means that this is an internal love relationship that's developing? Perhaps it's a love relationship that is disunifying, in disunion. That's it, in disunity. So I pulled my 3 cards from the Rider-Waite-Smith to help me out with this, and let me show you those cards right now. So these cards actually really helped me today because I could really get the idea of what to do. Whatever that card meant from the Tarot of the Holy Light, it gave me a plan of action. That's what I saw. So what we had was the 7 of Wands, the 6 of Swords, and the 4 of Wands. Descending order, yes. 2 wands, 1 sword flanked by 2 wands. Interesting. For me, in the 7 of Wands, for other people I know it's defend your position, you've reached a height and now you've got to beat off the competitors who want to take your place. That's not how I usually read the 7 of Wands, and especially not here. What I see here, she's not defending herself, she's not beating anyone down, she is holding her place. She is holding her place, she's clearing her space, she's encountering her worthiness for being who and where she is, and these wands that are coming up from below, which I consider to be the subconscious wands, the subconscious libido coming up to rock the boat, she's allowing them to be as they are and not allowing them to affect her. Does that make sense? I mean, it's a totally meditative pose there, right? And that's how a lot of meditation goes. If you are a meditator, here I am sitting in a half lotus pose, kind of. In sitting in meditation, I don't do this, but sitting in meditation, that stuff comes up. And one of the techniques, one of the aims, I don't even want to say aim, for meditation should not have an aim in my book. But what we do when we're meditating, when those things come up, is we observe them and we hold our space, we hold our center. And her center is very, very clearly enlightened. Well, that was a good use of the word. Enlightened is lit up right here in her solar plexus. So that's the significance for me, I think, today, for that Lover's card, is in reverse. Well, I think this was a guide. You got the Lover's card in reverse, and so this is a good position for you. The opposition is the Six of Swords, which seemed really, really clear to me. Six of Swords, yeah, moving on, moving from rough waters to calm waters, leaving some of the baggage behind, but carrying the baggage, carrying the swords that still serve you with you, but leaving all the rest of the crap behind and moving on. That can actually be an obstacle in many ways. It can be an obstacle in that maybe you're not ready to move on. But whether you're ready to move on or not, sometimes we put so much energy into the moving on that we push too hard. And pushing too hard is rarely a good thing. I know that from living with my mother. I don't mean pushing her, although there was one time when I did that and I got a pretty nasty, had a pretty nasty accident when I was 5 years old, but that's another story. My mother felt the need to push all of her life. And she got results a lot of the time. And so she self-conditioned herself, and that's the way to live life properly, is you push for what you want. But I don't agree with that. Forcing yourself to move on is an obstacle to fulfilling the present, fulfilling the now. And so the suggestion was Four of Wandsing it, enjoying who I am, where I am, what I'm doing, celebrating the now. Every moment as a milestone. Now, the Four of Wands can also be the wedding card and all that, but to me, it's generally, at least in my experience for myself, it's more of the milestone card. It's the celebrating the here and now, appreciating, not so, I mean, there are other appreciation cards, right? There's the Nine of Cups, there's the Nine of Pentacles, discs. But those are general satisfaction things and general gratitude things. And this is marking who you are and where you are and celebrating that marking of that moment, of that eternal now. Can you get the sense of the distinction I'm trying to draw there? So that's how I thought I should live my day. Whatever this meant for me, I thought what I want to do is not try and push things forward, not trying to make things happen, not try to move myself or others with me. To sit my ground, notice what comes up, and celebrate who I am, celebrate what I'm doing, celebrate the magnificence of the eternal now. So that's what I thought. That's how I thought I would go into the day. And I think it worked out pretty well. Let me read from the book. So let me read a few things about the upright meanings. Trump 6, the Lovers, points to the charged Eros magical field that springs up in between the lover and the beloved. In this field, new lives are created, generated, and brought into birth, gestated and brought into birth. Looks to me a lot like that couple in the water, but it doesn't have to only be that couple in the water. I'm just drawn to that couple in the water because of other things going in my life. So Trump 6 actually signifies, or not going on in my life, Trump 6 actually signifies the energy running between the lovers. be they infernal, human, or supernal, highlighting the magnetic, irresistible field of mutual attraction. Wonderful, wonderful stuff there. Moving on, Trump 6. Now, and the book talks about other iterations of the card and other meanings, like the choice meaning in other decks, or two going and finding their destined path together, for example, things like that. But let's move. But returning back to the Tarot of the Holy Light, Trump 6 of the Tarot of the Holy Light shows balanced opposites in a willing union. Like I said, the Lover's conjunction allows the self to be completed by the other, even if that other is the invisible Sophia, companion to the mystic. So it doesn't have to be an external other. It could be you and the divine, you and the divine feminine, you and Sophia, Lady Wisdom, Mary, all of those things. And you could be a male you, a female you, a transgendered you, a non-binary you, whoever can still have a relationship with the divine feminine, Sophia, however you want to frame that energy, the anima mundi, rolling right along too. The reversal of the Lovers might suggest a circumstance where people act like magnets, presenting like poles to each other. So positive to positive or negative to negative, not being good, good, bad, bad, but just the magnetic side, yeah? Positive side, negative side, having no connotations of good or bad, right? But two like poles, what happens when two like poles come in close proximity? They push each other apart, right? In this case, the Lovers could repel with the very same force that attracts them when they are lined up correctly. So there could be a misalignment between partners, whether that partner is a physical embodied other human being, whether that other could be maybe, I suppose, even Sophia, whether that is an internal union that is out of alignment and is in resistance. I'm pushing rather than pulling. Pushing rather than drawing, I should say, not pulling, but drawing. So that's what the card means in essence. And then there's that Taurus thing that I talked about as well. Let me tell you about my day. My day. As far as the work life goes, there was a moment of where I was trying to do something on the computer, in our computer system, and I had done something a little bit odd, apparently, because I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do, and I thought that I should be doing, preparing for the upcoming new semester at the beginning of September, so at the end of August. And so I tried to do it, and I thought, oh, the system's not ready. But then, long story short, it turns out that I was supposed to click a button. I thought that I had clicked the button, but after clicking the button, I had done something else that apparently turned it off. That's not really that important, but it made that really, really confusing to me, but then it all came clear. So, repelling, I don't know, maybe not. I'm not really sure that was so important, but while I did have a moment of being knocked off of my couch, my cushion, I got back up on my cushion and I found my equilibrium, and then it all was revealed to me and I was able to continue. So I did get shaken up, but I didn't, and maybe I did try to push a little bit. Come to think of it, maybe I did try to push a little bit, but I stopped before I went down the unwanted rabbit hole, and got what I wanted to get done. It didn't take a horribly long time. It was fine. Had a couple of interactions with a person that I am very attracted to and might be getting more attracted to me, And maybe that's it. Maybe this is not necessarily that we're repelling each other, but we're not drawing together right now, because right now is not the right time to actually be drawn together. There are things that need to happen before that drawing can happen well and properly, and in joy and celebration. Yeah, we're not there yet, and by trying to make us get there would have been a great obstacle, and maybe could have caused irreparable harm. Maybe. So, I mean, it could be that. I suppose it could be that. There were also a couple of other people who I've had passing fancies about, but are definitely not possible partners for me. From distance, for one thing, living in entirely different countries, and I've done long distance before, and that is not something I'm going to do ever again. So, anyways, that was kind of my day, and that's how I'm reading this card. I think there could have been. And then there's that other piece which I haven't really talked about yet. And I did continue to study my Levy book today, and made some good progress in arranging information so that I could go back and review it later, because these books require that. It's not just something you go through and highlight and then go review the highlights, because as for me, what I would end up doing is just highlighting the whole book from beginning to end and not having any effectual study material later. So what I'm doing is I'm just pulling stuff out that strikes me as I've created a chart, and information in the book that matches the chart that I've created, I pull out and I stick it in the chart so I can go back and review it and have a kind of organized framework for what I was studying. And I know that I'm missing bits and pieces, and so I will still have the book to go back and read later at another time, but I need to organize myself. And so perhaps okay, here's something else that struck me just now in that great pause that you just experienced. Perhaps that could have been when we think of the tree of life. There's a separation between knowledge and wisdom. And maybe today maybe those two were maybe a little bit at odds today. Maybe I was so focused on knowledge that I might have been pushing away some wisdom, maybe getting so caught up in the masculine analysis and not allowing the Sophia to have space, if that makes sense. There could have been some of that as well. And I don't think that I caused irreparable harm in that area. I don't think so. Because I really did try to just be with what I was doing. Like this. This was my key for today. And I did have a couple of moments of celebrating of, oh yeah, I got that figured out, I got the computer figured out, I got a couple of my charts figured out. I reorganized the chart a couple of times. So there were those moments of celebration of, oh, okay, this is cool. But maybe there was, maybe I just wasn't ready for the wisdom yet. Maybe that's what this is also pointing to. Maybe. What do you think? Of course, you weren't in my head all day today, so this may not be making any sense, but what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. If you're still here, hit the thumbs up so that YouTube knows that you enjoyed watching it and other people might enjoy watching it as well. It helps the channel. Also, hit the subscribe button and ring the alarm bell so that you get notifications of when I upload videos, and make sure that you have the alarms allowed on your phone, because some people, I know at least one person recently hit the alarm bell, but they had turned off the alarm in their greater phone system so that they couldn't receive the alarm they pushed. So got to make sure that you are allowing the alarms if you've hit the alarm bell. And comment below. I would really love to hear from you. What do you think? Can you make more sense out of this than I did? Maybe. I hope so. Let me know. And if you want a reading from me, my email address is also below in the description box. Shoot me an email. Say, please let me have a reading. And I will say, please, let's work this out, because I really love to. And friends, now, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.